sa DZRH, sa Elizalde.
Forget the past, it's time to mend.
O corporate, same.
So, ang sinasabi ko na lang,
Isang mapayapang hapon Pilipinas. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at nanonood sa RH-TV. Lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Noong nakaraang taon, gumawa ng ingay ang isang independent film nang magwagi ito ng 10 gantimpala sa Cinemalaya Festival. At makaraan ng ilang buwan, naging official entry pa ito ng Pilipinas sa Best Foreign Language category sa prestigyosong Academy Awards sa Amerika. Hindi man pinalad mag-uwi ng Oscar ang kabataang filmmaker na si Hanna Espia ay nagkamit naman ng Gawad Urian bilang Best Director at naging ikatlong babae pa lamang na nabigyan ng gantimpalang ito sa loob ng 4 na dekada. Gusto niyo ba siyang makilala? Kung ganon, samahan ninyo kami sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan kasama ang award-winning independent filmmaker na si Hanna Espia.
Isinilang noong 1987, ang direktor na si Hanna Espia ay kasalukuyang bahagi ng 1017P na isang Manila-based production company. Bilang estudyante ng Film and Audiovisual Communication sa UP Film Institute, kanyang thesis film na pinamagatang Rueda ay nagkamit ng Audience Choice Award mula sa Cinemalaya noong 2012. Matapos nito, nagsimula siya sa industriya ng pelikula bilang isang film editor bago nabigyan ng pagkakataong maging direktor. Ang kanyang unang feature film na pinamagatang Transit ay isa sa matuturing na most acclaimed Filipino films nung nakaraang taon. Naipalabas ito sa Cinemalaya Independent Film Festival noong July 2013 kung saan humakot ito ng 10 gantimpala, kabilang na ang Best Picture, Best Director, Best Ensemble Acting at Audience Choice Award. Sa taong ding yun, nagkamit ang Transit ng special mention mula sa Busan International Film Festival sa Korea at nanalo ng Student Jury Prize mula sa Tokyo Filmex sa Japan. Mula noon, ang Transit ay naipadala na sa mahigit na 100 international film festivals at patuloy pa rin humahakot ng tagumpay. Bukod pa dito, napili din ito bilang official entry ng Pilipinas sa Best Foreign Language Film category ng 86th Academy Awards na mas kilala sa tawag na Oscar Awards sa Amerika. Nitong nakaraang Hunyo, nakamit ni Hanna ang prestigyosong Gawad Urian para sa Best Director at naging ikatlong babaeng direktor na nagkamit ng premyong ito sa loob ng halos 4 na dekada. Sa kasalukuyan, abala siya sa kanyang ikalawang feature film, ang Learning to Build a Fire, sa ilalim ng Asian Cinema Fund Script Development Grant. Isang mainit na pagbati ang hatid ng Art2art sa award-winning young filmmaker na si Hanna Espia.
Kasama po natin ang batang-bata, maganda at higit sa lahat magaling at premyadong filmmaker na si Hanna Espia. Hanna, welcome to Art2art.
Nice to be here po. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Hanna, let's go back to when you first became interested in making films. Bata ka pa lang, talagang mahilig ka na sa movies. You had already an interest in filmmaking?
I'd like to think na pinanganak pa lang ako, I was destined to make films because my parents named me after a Woody Allen film called Hanna and Her Sisters. So I'd like to think na doon nagsimula yun. Pero actually my interest in films came when I was in 4th year high school and I was deciding kung anong kukunin ko for college and nakita ko na merong film program sa UP, so I was really interested to apply there.
Okay. And so, bago ka naging director, I'm sure you worked in film but in other aspects. So, what other aspects did you work in?
When I was in film school, I was really interested in editing. So before I became a director, I was really working as an editor na. But I've also tried other fields of art, like I worked in a photography studio, and I've always been interested in the arts talaga.
Okay, so let's talk about Transit. Exactly a year ago, your movie Transit debuted sa 2013 Cinemalaya, and at the end, nagwagi ng 10 tropeo. Did you expect the film to do that well?
Actually, no. As a first-time filmmaker, I was just happy to have a chance to make my first feature. I mean, it doesn't, like before, when you've just graduated film school, parang you're gonna start at the bottom, parang you mag-PA ka muna and then work your way up, and then. So it's a really rare opportunity given to young filmmakers these days, especially with the rise of digital filmmaking. Na parang filmmakers as young as teenagers can make their own films. So I was really blessed to have this opportunity to make my first feature at a young age. So I wasn't expecting anything because for me, it was rewarding na yung being able to make one. So I was just having fun with it, and I was just enjoying. I was just enjoying the festival. Kasi apart from being a filmmaker, I'm just a really big film buff.
Yeah.
So I just love watching movies, and it was nice to be able to talk to the other directors who were part of Cinemalaya. So I was just having so much fun.
So how did the opportunity come about na in-invite ka para gumawa ng iyong first feature film?
It started when because when I did my thesis film sa UP, yung short film ko nakapasok sa Cinemalaya 2012. And from there, I was offered to join this Manila Film Financing Forum. And Manila Film Financing Forum is a forum where directors and producers have this sort of speed dating event. So mga 10 directors and about 20 producers, and we have like a speed dating style na film pitching. So we were given 7 minutes to pitch our film to possible producers. So I was able to pitch my film to sila Sir Tony Gloria, sila Mother Lily were there. And then that's where I met Paul Soriano, who eventually produced my film. I pitched my film to him for 7 minutes, and I guess he just fell in love with the idea. So he said, I wanna be your producer. And from there, dun na parang we started meeting, and then binuo na namin yung crew namin, and then the rest is history.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
So para sa mga hindi nakapanood ng Transit, can you tell us in a nutshell what is it about?
Transit is about a Filipino family living in Israel. They're an extended family. Because in 2009 there was this law. It's little known news that in 2009 the Israeli government declared that children of foreign workers will be deported, and it was really interesting for me because when we talk about deportation, it's usually about the adults na hindi sumunod sa visa rules or they broke a law or something, and then they get
usually
deported.
Mga TNT.
Yeah, mga TNT. But it was really rare for children to be involved in such a situation, and I found this really interesting. So I just decided to make a story about. I just said na parang this is a story that should be told. So I made the film.
Okay. So how much research or fact-checking did you do before? Siyempre sensitive yung material, no?
I had a co-writer, si Gian Abrahan, and we had a few months to research, siguro mga 3 months. And then, so we were writing the script, we were reading news articles about it. And then, when we were about to shoot the film, mga 1 week in Israel just to meet real OFWs living in Israel and sort of polishing the script based on their stories.
Okay. What was your aha moment?
From conception of the
Yes,
film,
the
or
conception. The moment when the idea sort of came together.
I really don't know because it was such a long process. Parang
How long was it?
actually I thought of this idea when I was on a trip from Israel, and then I met this OFW nga with a baby. So the baby was crying the whole time, and people were trying to help. And people were asking why he didn't wait till the baby was older so maka-travel back to the Philippines. And he said nga because of this law. So I guess that was my aha moment. And then after that, things started falling into place. Na parang, I need to tell this story, and then suddenly I have a producer who was interested, and then people people came together, and then the idea came together, and it happened.
Okay, speaking of coming together, how did you choose yung mga actors and actresses for the film? Kasi syempre mahalaga ito dahil nanalo din ng Best Ensemble Acting sa Cinemalaya.
Basically, in the story, I had 5 characters. They will comprise the family. And for the older characters, of course, I wanted to work with the veteran actors like Miss Irma Adlawan, Big Medina, Mercedes Cabral, and these are people that I've always wanted to work with. Parang when we were deciding on casting, Paul, my producer, asked me like, okay, list down your dream cast, and then let's try to get them. So I listed them down, and then we got them. And for the younger actors naman, si Jasmine and Mark, who play the younger characters in Transit, Cinemalaya kasi has this open auditions. And both Mark and Jasmine attended those auditions. And then for Mark, I don't know, there's just something about him. There's just something about him that's really special na me and Paul, nung nadaanan namin siya, napatingin talaga. We had to take a second look at him kasi there's just something about him, and parang we decided then and there na we wanted him to play Joshua in Transit. For Jasmine naman, I was really looking for a specific look. I wanted someone who, because her character is half Israeli, so I was really looking for a specific look, and I wanted someone who was half something, like in the case of Jasmine, she's half Australian, because I wanted my actress to be able to relate to the character she was playing in the film. So when I saw Jasmine at the audition, sabi ko, that's it. That's her. That's my Yael.
Yeah.
Yael is the name of her character.
Okay. So your actors were required to speak Israeli?
Yes. They were required to speak Hebrew, and that was the tricky part because it's such a difficult language.
Yeah.
It's really far from what we know, like or what we're used to. Kasi Israeli Hebrew is very guttural, yung yung ganon. But I guess, thank God, I have amazing actors that they were able to memorize their lines.
Yeah, so nag-memorize sila in Hebrew or nag-aral talaga sila ng Hebrew language?
What we did, sa script pa lang, when I wrote the script, I wrote it in English. And then I had someone translate it to Hebrew. And then that person also made a recording, like how things are pronounced. So, yung recording we gave to the actors, and then each of them had Skype sessions with our Hebrew coach. So that was twice a week for about 6 weeks of Hebrew. They didn't learn Hebrew talaga, but they learned Hebrew, the lines talaga in Hebrew.
Pumasa naman yung
Pumasa
pronunciation
naman.
nila.
Like whenever an Israeli would watch the film, I would always ask, how was the Hebrew? How was it? Well, it was cute. It was, I mean, pasado na, because it's also, I mean, because Filipinos who live in Israel, of course they speak Hebrew, but it's not, you know that it's not an Israeli person speaking Hebrew. So you know that may punto pa din. So it's really believable. That's what the film was able to do, was make it all believable.
Yeah. Okay. So what difficulties did you face when you filmed on location sa Israel?
A lot.
I'm sure. A lot, yeah.
I mean, people called me crazy for doing something like this. And I think it's because I mean, I had the license to be crazy because I was young, and the crew that I had with me, we were only 20 people in Israel who went to Israel, and 12 of those were my crew. So I imagine making an entire film with 12 people, and they were all very young as well. My crew was a very young crew. They were all like fresh grads from UP, my friends, ganyan. It was difficult. First, getting like permits to shoot there. What we did, I think a smart thing that we did was, instead of approaching a film company, we approached a tour company. Because my family owns this tour company specializing in Holy Land tours to Israel. So we had our company has partners na there. So they handled all the logistics, like where we were gonna stay and our transportation and getting permits to shoot in the sites, and we also had to approach the Israel embassy here in Manila so that they will sort of endorse us, kasi we were bringing in equipment to Israel, so and the security in Israel is very, very tight. So we had to really be careful, and we had to really be honest with what we were gonna do there.
And gaano kayo katagal doon?
We were in Israel. Well, I was there 1 week advance because I was doing my research, and then the rest of the crew followed, and we were there for 10 days, shooting for 9 days.
Oh, 9 days lang talaga yung
shoot?
shoot?
9 days lang talaga yung shoot. So none of us had any sleep. We didn't have sleep, and that's the hard part, because like when you're really tired and you're in an unfamiliar place, like here, like if you're shooting here and you need something, you can who to call, but we felt so alone, and we didn't know anybody. So that was difficult, and there's the language and cultural barriers.
That's
and all
true.
that stuff.
Okay. Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan kasama ang kabataang direktor na si Hanna Espia dito pa rin sa Art2art. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating Arts Calendar. Sa pelikula, ipalalabas ang pelikulang Documented ni Jose Antonio Vargas sa August 1, alas 7 ng gabi sa Cultural Center of the Philippines, Rojas Boulevard, Pasay City, matapos ang pagbubukas ng 10th Cinemalaya Independent Film Festival. Si Vargas ay isang Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, filmmaker at founder ng Define American, isang media at culture campaign na naglalayong talakayin ang issue ng immigration at citizenship sa Amerika. Ang Cinemalaya ay magpapatuloy hanggang August 10. Mapapanood ang mga tampok na pelikula sa CCP at Ayala Malls Cinemas. Para sa kumpletong detalye, bumisita sa website na cinemalaya.org or culturalcenter.gov.ph o sa Cinemalaya Facebook page, o kaya'y tumawag sa CCP 832-1125. Sa teatro, inihahandog ng Flamenco Ensemble na Quinto ang 12, a showcase of flamenco's most celebrated rhythms sa Teatrino Green Hills, August 9, alas 7 ng gabi. Ang grupo ay binubuo ng mga musicians na sina Raj Mansukhani, RB Sacristia, John Sonko at Miguel Nanyawa. Sa sining biswal, inihahandog ng Art Elements Asian Gallery ang exhibit na pinamagatang Journey ng sculptor na si Joe Datuin. Tampok ang mga obrang gawa sa stainless steel at mosaic at pinaghalong painting at sculpture. Karamihan dito ay base sa piyesang Dancing Rings ni Datuin na nagwagi ng grand prize sa Olympics Art Competition sa Switzerland noong 2008. Samantala, ginaganap din ang group show na Benavides 2 na binubuo ng mga graduates ng University of Santo Tomas. Makikita ang dalawang exhibit hanggang August 18. Ang Art Elements Asian Gallery ay matatagpuan sa Level 3 ng SM Aura Premier, Bonifacio Global City, Taguig.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin natin ang premiadong direktor na si Hanna Espia. So, Hanna, syempre, naging malaking balita na napili ang iyong pelikula to be the official entry sa Best Foreign Language Film sa Academy Awards. So, how did this come about?
FAP kasi, after Cinemalaya, when they were doing their selection, we were invited to submit our film for their review. But one of the conditions kasi to be qualified for the Oscars is that you have to have your film must have a 1-week screening in the commercial theaters. So before we did that, si Paul called me and sabi niya, Hanna, do you think we should do this? Because it's such a big risk. I mean, we were really against really good films and really good directors, and you know, that time we felt our film was, you know, a small indie film na dinirect ng baguhang director. So parang, what were our chances para mapili? But I guess Paul really believed in, sabi ko sa kanya, bahala ka na if you want, you know, if you want this to happen. And he did. We were showing in 3 theaters, sa Greenbelt, sa Trinoma, and sa Glorieta. And sometimes I would check the theaters, as minsan dalawa lang yung manonood, nakita kong ganon. And then after our screening, we were qualified. And then I find out later on na kami na yung napili, tapos through Twitter pa. So hindi, I mean, I didn't receive an email or anything. Sa Twitter ko pa nalaman. So parang nung time na yun, when I found out, I just cried. Kasi parang naalala ko lahat ng hirap na yung all our hard work and effort na binuhos namin sa pelikula, and then suddenly we get this chance. So
and were you told how far the film went in the Oscar selection process?
In the Oscar selection process, it's a tricky it's very tricky because we were against countries who could afford to publicize their films.
Yeah.
And
PR, in other words.
PR, like we were really blessed because a Hollywood producer got interested. Si Dean Devlin, he has a film company based in the US, and he was able to watch the film. Tapos he really liked it. So sabi niya, they wanted to help us with our Oscar campaign. So that's when, I mean, it was a reality check also when me and Paul went to LA and we met Dean Devlin. Sabi niya na, you know, it's really hard. You need to set parties. I mean, like other countries have film screenings and after parties. After the screening, may after party.
In other words, kailangan mo ng malaking budget.
Malaking budget. Yun, and to be there, and I really felt so small, and I really felt na this was a really big thing. Dun lang nag-sink in sa akin na ganun siya, and yung reality na hindi lang siya pagandahan ng pelikula. Ano din siya, yung support ng country, yung support ng country mo, yung budget nyo sa publicity. Yun.
So did you feel na parang kulang ang suporta na para sa sining, or for maybe in particular in the film industry?
Kulang
ba?
I don't think na kulang siya, but I think it's like everything. It's a gradual process. I think na like countries who are able to afford publicity like this, ang tagal na nilang binibuild on yan. And I think what we should do is to kailangan lang natin mag-ingay every year na we're the Philippines, we make really good films and to show Hollywood that. And it's a gradual process. I think it's not yet time kasi. So, I mean, everything has a perfect timing naman. So, I never felt na nagkulang naman. Yeah.
Okay. Well, noong nakaraang Hunyo, nakamit mo naman ang Gawad Urian bilang Best Director. At sabi nga, ikaw daw ang ikatlong babae pa lang na nakamit ang award na ito in the last 37 years. Sino yung dalawa?
Si Direk Loris Quillen and Direk Marilu Diaz-Abaya.
Okay, so how does it feel to be in the same roster as these women director legends?
It's unbelievable actually. Parang hindi naman nagsisink in sa akin na I mean, I still feel na I have so much to learn and parang it feels odd. It feels really odd to be the third female there. And I mean, Marilu Diaz-Abaya, Loris Quillen, they're just parang and I'm just starting out in my career, and there's so many things that I need to learn still.
But what a start!
Yeah.
Okay, what a start. Isn't the pressure on right now? Do you feel the pressure? Kasi you had such a great track record.
Yeah.
Your first feature film, it won so many projects. It went to the Academy Awards. What's next?
Well, the pressure is really there. What's next is, I want to keep making films. That's that's what I want to do. But it's really hard to shrug it off. Na parang my next film, people are gonna expect big things again. But it's really hard. It's really hard to shrug it off and just remind myself that I'm doing this because I love to make films and not for prestige or for awards. And so I'm currently working on my next project.
Tell us about that.
My next project is very personal. It's kind of based on my personal experiences with a long distance relationship.
Okay.
So it's a love story about an interracial couple.
Okay.
And then yung relationship nila was mostly based on technology like Skype and kasi long distance.
Yeah.
So finally they are together. And then they realize that they're just so different from each other. And it deals with so many things like, I mean, there's love and there's also the other things like cultural barriers and racism. Kasi hindi yan naiiwasan pagdating sa interracial relationship.
Yeah.
So that's what it's gonna be.
Okay. The title is?
The title is Learning to Build a Fire.
Okay.
And
it's going to be in English?
It's going to be in English. Yeah, and a little bit of Tagalog, siguro. When the character is talking to her fellow Filipinos, ganyan, but mostly in English. And it recently got the Asian Cinema Fund for script development. So at least I have seed money to start developing this new project.
Okay. And when can we expect to watch it?
Well, I really want to take my time on this one because with Transit, parang I had 6 months to do the whole film, and it was really tiring. So parang this one, I wanted to be more relaxed.
Okay.
I want to sleep when shooting this film. But I target around, because I want to start shooting next year. So my target is around 2016.
Okay. Okay. So, abangan namin yan. Thank you so much,
Thank
Hanna,
you.
for coming and being our guest here in Art2Art.
Thank you so
and of
much.
course, congratulations on the success of Transit. And we wish you even more successful films in the
Thank
future.
you.
And it's a bright future and a long future up ahead.
Thank you so much.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art2Art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.